Okay, share screen. All right. Okay. Right. Here you are. All right. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Cool.
yes.
Cool. All right. Cool. 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 All right. So basically, this is an overview of SharePoint. How we got here in SharePoint. What you do in Google is you go to you type in Office 365 login, and then you go log in. You probably need to have some type of subscription with Office 365. When you have that, then you can go into SharePoint, and there's actually a waffle here. If you click on the waffle, it gives you options, and this is SharePoint there. And what I'm going to teach you today is SharePoint with Power Automate. Okay, right? So I just want to give you insight what I developed just yesterday. This is a SharePoint site here called MT School, right? So here with MT School, it's just picture as any school, right? We have there's a list here called school teachers, right? And in the students, we created students, right? And in here we specified in the list. And then what happens is when you create a new record here, it will send you an email. If you create a new student, like I will get email notified. So that's one advantage of like Power Automate. You can send like automatic emails, right? And I'm going to show you guys how to make most of this stuff. So we have school students, we have school teachers, and also we have a thing called his school income, right? So we see his sales amount, right? So like new school student, right? So every time you create a new school student, right, this sales amount will increase, and you can do that with Power Automate, right? So if I let me just show you, right? So if I just create a new student, right? So we'll go, yeah, I'll call this here Scott Morrison, right? And the date of birth, we'll just go here, grade 4, right? And teacher, we'll just say here, right? And I'll go, he's safe. I'll just go, right? So you can see here that when I added Scott, right? So you can see here the income. So it's 6,000 right now. You'll see here that this will go up to 9,000, right? And you'll have a see this. The workflow will get kicked off soon. Maybe I'll just create. I'll just duplicate this tab. I'll have one for school students. Right. So we'll see here. Okay, we'll refresh this. Keep on refreshing. Hopefully within a minute or so, this amount here will change to 9,000 because we added a new student, right? So every time you add a new student, I program the flow to say, update this new school student amount to 9,000, right? So sorry, to another 3,000 on top of that. So 6,000 plus 3,000 is 9,000. So soon you'll see this. Just the flow takes a bit of time. And on top of that, you'll see here that when I added Scott Morrison, I'll just show you my email. When I added Scott Morrison, you'll see here sooner or later, I'll be getting an email here. So just 1 second. I'll just show you. When I get the email, I'll show you guys. Actually, I'll just wait. So yeah, I've got an email. So you have a new student called Scott Morrison in grade 4 with teacher Mr. John Bob Hunt. Hi, Mataza. Your new student, Scott Morrison, grade 4, with the teacher, and then the item was created here. Now, so the workflow is kicked off. As you can see, it's send the email. And then from there, I'll just take the email out. And then from there, if we refresh this, you see it's 9,000 now, right? So I did that all with, what you call it, with Power Automate, right? So, all right. So how to set this all up, right? So school students, teachers, and all this stuff. So the first thing I'll do I'll go back a level. So you see the SharePoint, you can see the site here, right? This is the SharePoint name. We have sites. This is called empty school. And this is a list called school income annually. If you change it to here, school teachers, you'll see the URL is school teachers. And if you see here, the URL is school list and school students, right? So what I'll do is if I go back to SharePoint for a sec, right? So we'll try to replicate something like this. I'll create a new one and we'll go from there, right? So we'll go here. So what we'll do here, this is the main SharePoint site, right? And in this SharePoint site, what you do here, the first thing you do, right, in SharePoint is basically, first of all, what's SharePoint used for? SharePoint is used for, it's an internal, like a website for the company, right? And you can have like create sites and subsites with it. Like you can create like IT department, finance department, accounting department, and all different stuff, you know, like all, you know, even within the, like say you have a finance department, within the finance department you might have an accounts payable subsite in there, and you might have an accounts receivable subsite. So what you can do, you can create subsites in there, but I'm not going to go too much that into detail. My main reason for this one is to show SharePoint with Power Automate. So let's create a new site, right? So we'll create a new site here, and we have two options here. So we'll create a team site. So in the team site, we'll say, all right, then we'll call this here university, right? So let's just go here. We'll just call it here. Actually, we'll just call it school. So we'll just call this here. I don't know. I'll just call this here Harrison School, right? Harrison. Actually, I'll call something else. I'll call this here Brisbane School. Brisbane School, right? So we have a site here called Brisbane School, right? Here is a bit of the settings we can do. Do we want this private only members can view it, or public anyone in the organization can view it? So we want to set this to private, right? And we click on next, and we add our owners, right? So me yourself, I'll add myself as an owner. We can add other people as owners as well, but I'll just add myself as an owner here. All right, and we'll finish. And now what it does here, if you look at the URL here, now there's a site called Brisbane School, all right? And what you call it? So now we have this is our SharePoint site, right? Now the thing is, what do we do with SharePoint? I'll give you a quick run view of some of the things, but I want to focus more on Power Automate, right? So basically, we can do a lot of things here. We can create a list, we can create document libraries, we can create custom web pages, we can create other things as well, news links and all the other stuff. So I'll quickly show you document library, for example. So we've got document library. So we'll go here, all right, so we go here. So we can go here, school docs, right? And in the document library, we can create a new doc here, or we can create a new doc here in Word, for example. I'll just open Word, right? And in my Word here, I can actually what I'll do here, I'll just create here, go new Word, right? And this is online Word, so I'll just type in here ABC, right? And I'll just save it if I can. I think it's already saved, so files, I think it's already saved. All right, and let's just see, just hit save, right? Is it saved? Refresh. Yeah, save, right? It's just called document, but if you click on it, you see ABC. Now, what you can do with this document is they have version history, right? You can go here and you can go here and you can view the version, right? So the first version, there's only one version created because we only saved it once, and we see here these versions, right? So now let's just say we go up here and we go, we want to modify this. We call this the XYZ. Save. XYZ, right? Save. Right. Right. Just leave it as documents, right? And we'll close this, and we'll see here now if we refresh this, and if we go to version, we can see here that there's another version created for that Word doc, right? There's one more. I think this is the latest one, right? So what happens if you click on this now, you go, okay, well, this is XYZ, but look, I want to roll back to ABC, right? So what you do, right, is you go in here, you go in the version history and say, well, look, that XYZ, we don't want that doc, we want to go back to ABC. So we'll revert to this one. So we'll go restore. Okay. That's done. And we'll click on doc now. And that is now ABC. So we've gone back to the previous version. So that's one good reason for SharePoint is is for document management system. You know, it's good for storing documents and maintaining the versions and all that stuff, right? And on top of things you can do in this, you can also go and create workflows and Power Automate and all these things. But I'm not going to show you Power Automate with document libraries. I'm going to show you more with SharePoint lists, right? So let's go down and let's try to replicate this empty school, right? So so the first thing we'll do is we'll go, all right, what's the first thing a school has, right? So the first thing school has is teachers, right? So what we'll do is we'll create a new list. So we'll go back to this BS and we'll go here, we'll go new list, and we'll go here, and we'll go blank list, and we'll call this here school teachers, right? And we'll go there, we'll create, and now we have school teachers, right? Now by default, if you click on new, it only has one column called title or one field called title, right? So what if we want to add more fields? You know, we need a first name, we need a last name, and we need other fields as well, right? So if I just have a look what fields this one had, school in the teachers, we had salutation, we had first name, middle name, last name, right? So we'll have these columns, right? So we go, first thing we'll do, we'll create a salutation, right? So we'll go here and we'll make this a choice, right? So because I'll show you what a choice is. So we'll click on choice, first column, we'll call it salutation, right? We'll give a choice here, we'll go Mr., Mrs., or Miss, right? And you can have a default value in there if you want Mr. as a default value, Mrs. or Miss. If you don't want to have a default value, you can just save, right? So now what happens if you click on new again? Let me just see. Wait, hold on. I just gotta refresh this. So now if you click on new again, you see now we have a salutation, and we need to have these three options to choose from. All right. So that's one thing, right? So for example, our teacher's name is Mrs. Brown, right? So we'll go Brown, right? And we'll go here, Mrs. Brown, right? And we'll save. And now we have our teacher name here, right? So yeah, so now what we do, right, is obviously if you create a new value, and we'll call this here George, right? And we'll go, if I want to type ABC, right, it won't allow me because that's what a choice field is, right? It only allows the selected values. It's like a drop-down list. It only allows the selected values in there, right? So that's it there, right? So if you so now we'll add some more columns, right? I won't go too much into all these columns. You saw what a choice does, right? There's a date time column. I'll show you that later on. And there's yes and no column. This only has two values. There's a number column. Only number values can go in there. There's a currency column. Only currency value can go in there. Like if you're doing money and stuff, calculating money. And then you got your single line of text and multiple line of text. So in this case, we'll create a single line of text, right? And we'll call this here first name, right? And single line of text, and we'll go, yep, all right. And we'll create another column here called middle name. And we'll save this here, and we'll create another column called here last name, right? And we've got that column here. So it's easy as just creating names, right? And then, just creating these fields, it's easy as that, right? So if we go back here and go back to school teachers, I'm just going to refresh. We go new teacher. Now we can enter values here. So if I update this now, if I go here, edit, now we can update this. So now we'll go here, Jane, middle name is, I don't know, Bill Brown. Right, and we save it. And now we have Jane Bill Brown, right? So what we can do with Power Automate is, let's just say we want to update this title to show as Mrs. Jane Bill Brown. How would we do that, right? So when we create a record here, it should update the title automatically to show Mrs. Jane Bill Brown. So what you can do with that is you can use Power Automate, right? So if we go here in the Automate, actually it's not this one here. Just refresh, integrate, click on Power Automate, and you go create flow, right? So in the create flow, I'll just click on, these are some of the templates you can create. I'll show you some of these later on, but see your flow, I'll click on see my flow, and now we have this Power Automate, right? And I've created these ones before, so I'll just create a new one. I'll go new, automate cloud flow, and we'll say here, we'll call this here, Brisbane School, new school teacher update title, right? And then we'll go here. Okay, what's our trigger? Our trigger is SharePoint, right? So we go here when an item is created. So we'll click on this is our trigger. So now we have this Power Automate, as you can see here, right? So our trigger here. These are some of the old sites I created. So this is a new site. Which one's our new site? And we go here, Brisbane School. Where's Brisbane School? Let's give it a refresh. Yeah. Not showing Brisbane School. That's funny. It should show a site here called Brisbane School. It's not picking it up. Oh, I'm sorry, just a bit issue here. It should pick up the Brisbane School value here. Don't know why it's not picking it up. Just go here. I'll go here. Let's create a new one again. Automate flow. School new teacher update title. We go here in SharePoint. Right, we go here when an item is created. Create. See here. Geez, doesn't show Brisbane School. That's a big problem. Let me just copy this URL here. Yeah, let's paste it here. Let's see if that does something. Come on, why aren't you showing here, man? Sorry, this is what happens when you have a presentation. Things don't work. All right. All right, okay. If it's not picking up Brisbane School, how do we work this? Okay, let me do one thing. It's not picking up Brisbane School here. I don't know why the SharePoint site is created, and for some reason it's not picking up Brisbane School. I don't know why it's not picking it up here. If I can't select it, then I can't select the list in here. Okay, let me create a new SharePoint site. Let me just go one sec. Let me just do one thing here. Let me just create a new tab. Right, I'll create a new. So this is the experience you get when you do coding, right? Or you do development, you get these type of problems. Let's just create another site, team site. I'll go here. We'll call this here Perth School Hopefully this should work. Per school, per school, per school. So this is the URL. Okay, yep, good. Private only is okay, yep. Next. All right, okay. Okay, see if this works. All right, Perth School. So let's just create a new school student here. Sorry, I had to get rid of Brisbane School. I don't know why it's not showing there in the flow. So let's try a new one. Let's go new list. Blank list. We'll go here. School teachers. All right. Create. Right. We'll go here. We'll add the columns. So we'll go here. Choice. We'll add his salutation. Mrs. and Miss. All right. We'll add any. Okay. First name. All right. Last name. All right. And we'll add any. Sorry, I did that little mistake there. I'll just delete this column. Just 1 second. I'll just delete this last name column. I need to add middle name. So let me just go here and I'm just going to the settings here and I'm deleting this column last name. Just 1 second. Delete column. All right. Okay. So we go here, school teachers. We have your first name. Middle name, create, and last name, create, right? So now what we'll do is let's just go and quickly create a flow here. So first of all, let's just create a new record. So let's go back here, Brown. Miss Brown, so Jane Brown. Okay, here. This thing. So what we want to do is when we add a record, it should update the title, showing Mrs. Jane Matt Brown, right? So that wasn't working before. Let's just try it again. Create a flow. Just create a new flow. So new cloud flow. So Perth school new teacher update title SharePoint. I have in SharePoint when an item is created. Okay. Geez, it's not picking it up. Why is it not picking it up? It's not even picking up Perth School. I just got to log out, guys. Give me 1 sec. I'm gonna just stop sharing for a sec. I'm gonna log out and log back in, and I'll share back again. Just 1 sec. What I've done is I've decided that I'm having issues. I'm not able to see. I'll share my screen with you guys. Right. All right. So I'm not able to see the list of Brisbane School or other ones. So what I'm going to do is I had an existing site called IT Department, so I'll just work on that, right? So I know it's called IT Departments, just ignore that. But what we'll do is we have one infrastructure as well. We have IT Department. I'll just delete all these things here. I'll just quickly delete everything here. Yeah, here. Cool students. I already created some of this before, so I'll just delete all of this. Yeah, list settings. Okay, I will delete this list. I'm just going to delete all the lists here. So we're going to just use this site here, IT Department. Don't ask me why it's not working, but it just ain't working. That's the funny part when you do a presentation and something goes wrong. All right, okay. Okay, all right. So you guys can see the screen?
Yes, Manilai.
All right, cool. All right. So this is a site that was already created. It's called IT department. All right, just ignore the name. Maybe we can just rename here. Let's see if we can rename this site. Site information. We'll just change it here. We'll call this here Darwin School. All right. Actually, I won't even do that just in case it creates other problems. All right. So we'll leave it as IT department. So now what we do here is we'll create a new list. So we'll go here. So I'll just do all that thing again. So school teachers, right? Create, right, and add new column. Choice. Yeah. Salutation. Choice here. Mr. Mrs. and Miss. All right, well, another column here, first name, save, and add another column here called middle name, save, and we have another here column called last name, and save, right? So now we have it here, right? Again, if we create a new record, you know, just see all this, right? So what happens is, let's quickly go. Mrs. Okay. So we have that there, right? So what we want to do when we update that, we want to update the title. So I already explained that to you guys. So let's try this out now. Let's try this one. Okay, so we go here. Okay, let me just delete these ones. Delete these ones. All right. So now we go create a new flow, automate flow. We'll go here. We'll go here, school teachers. Sorry. I'll just call the IT department, school teachers. New school teachers update title. All right, so we'll go here, SharePoint. Fingers crossed, man. Let's hope it works this time. SharePoint, when the item is created, create. All right, in here now we select IT department. Right, in the IT department we have one list called school teachers. All right. Now this is the trigger. When basically what's it saying here is when a school teacher when school teacher is created, right? So when school teacher is created, what we do here is we go here, we have our flow, right? This is our trigger. Now these are actions, what we want to do with our actions, right? There's many things you can do. There's a lot of plugins here, you know, you can even plug in this to Salesforce. I think Salesforce, there's a lot of plugins with this, right? But I don't have time to explain, or else I'll be just going too much into detail, like even Outlook and all these things. There's so many plugins you can do. So my focus is on SharePoint, right? So, all right, so we click on SharePoint and we go here. All right, we want to update item. And we go here, we select the IT department, and we'll go here, we'll select the school teachers, and it's saying this ID. What's the ID? Which record do we update, right? I mean, here, for example, if we add like if we add another record here, we'll call this here, say, Scott, right? Mr. Scott Matt Morrison, right? So here we have two records here, all right? So this one's saying here, which one, where is it? This one is saying which record you want to update, what's the ID, every record behind it has a unique ID. This could be ID number 1, this could be ID number 2. So what ID do we update? So that's basically what it's saying. So when we say when a school item's created, school teacher's created, when a new record is created, like if we create a new record now, then that's the record we want the flow to trigger on, right? And so we want to use that ID. And then when we want to update the item, we want to update, and school teachers want to update that ID. Does that make sense to you guys? Or I'm confusing you? Anyway, so we want to update the ID here, right? So this is the ID of when, you can see when school teachers is created, right? So we update the ID. Now we want to update the title, right? So here, now we go title, now we go here. Now let's do the update. So we go here, salutation value. So these are the fields we created, salutation plus first name plus last name space plus, sorry, first name plus middle name plus last name. All right, and we'll go here. Okay, so now what we're saying is when we school teachers. So what we're saying here now is that when a school teacher is created, we want to update that school teacher record. We're giving the ID, we're passing the ID, and then we want to update the title with this salutation, first name, last name, and first name, middle name, last name. All right, so we save this. Done. Now we see it here, we go back. So now here, have a look at this, right? We'll see here when the flow gets triggered, we'll see this updating, right? So let's create a new item here. Let's create a new teacher. We'll call this here Imran. So we'll go here, Mr. Imran Ali, right? And we save this here. Now have a look, right? So we created this record. So on this record, you'll see here that the school teacher, this value here the title will automatically get updated. You can see the title right now is just showing Imran. When the workflow kicks off, it will show Mr. Imran Ali Khan in the title. Just have a look. Let's have a look at this workflow. Let's see when it's kicking off. It takes a bit of time. It takes like 1 minute or so to kick off. So we'll just keep on refreshing. What happened there? All right, so here we go, refresh. All right, now if we look here and we refresh, there you go, Mr. Ali, Imran Ali Khan. You see that the workflow updated that, right? And you can even go in the workflow and you can have a look. All right, so what's happening in the workflow, right? What's happening in the workflow? We see here that when a record is created, we can even see the values here, right? That a record is created. This is the list name, right? The record is created. We want to update the teacher. So here we updated. This is showing the data. This is in a JSON format. Don't get confused, but the title is Mr. Imran Ali Khan, and you've got the first name Ali, and the middle name and last name, and the salutation. Even the salutation, because it was a choice, it's actually showing as a number, not as the actual salutation, which should have been Mr. So it's not showing Mr. here, it's showing 0 because that is the value we chose, like a drop-down list that it has a value. Each item has a value and it has a text record, text name and a value. So this was showing the value and going from there. So that's the first thing, right? So that's the first thing I want to show you, right? We have this, right? So let's just, so let me just delete these ones and create them again. So we have one here called Imran Khan, and one here we'll call here Jane, Mrs. And go here, Jane, Matt Brown, right? And cool. We'll go, this will update eventually. You'll see here another flow will kick off, and it'll just do that update automatically, right? So we don't have to. We create the flow once, and it keeps on updating, right? And we'll just go here, Scott. Mr. Scott, Bill Morrison, right? And now this will get updated. You see James Brown got updated and now Scott Morrison. So if we see this got updated, that means another flow got kicked off, and that's updating that as well. So that's what we told the flow to do, update the title. Okay. So that's the first thing, right? Now we'll create a new student, right? So we'll go here, new. We'll create a new list, right? We'll go a new list, blank list. We'll go here. Okay, school students, right? So we'll create new school students. All right. So we'll go. Okay, school student. What does the school student have, right? So let me just go back to see the other ones. The other one I created. So if I just duplicate this, duplicate tab, I'll just go back to SharePoint and I'll see the empty school. So what values it has? School student. It has first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, grade, teacher, is current student. Right. So what we do here, we'll add a column here called first name, right? And another column here called middle name, and we'll create another column here called last name, right? You can see the data type, it's single line of text. So that means any value can go in there, right? And I'll show you the other data types now. So we have a date of birth, right? This one, date of birth. So we go here. Now, date of birth is going to be a date time column. Now I'll show you what that is, right? Date of birth. You want to include time? No. Okay. We'll go here. I'll show you what that is a bit, the date time column. Grade year. So we'll go here, grade year. That will be a number. Grade year. We'll make it, it's a number, right? And teacher. Now, teacher would be a lookup value against the school teacher, right? Because like if we made it, like for example, if we made it a free text, like first name, last name, look, if you look here, free text, if we just type in teacher, like let's just say if this was a teacher column, we could type in anything here. We don't want that. We only want the teachers that are part of our school teacher list. You know what I mean? So what you do here, you go here, add column. We'll just go here, more, right? And here we add here, we'll call this here teachers, or teacher, whatever. And here we make it a lookup. Now here's a lookup column. And then we look up against the school teachers, right? And what we want to show here is, let me just leave it here and just show the ID, all right? What we want to show is the title, but I want to leave it as the ID because I want to show you guys something first. So we'll leave this as the ID. Save it, okay. All right, and now we have one more column called is current student. So we go here. Now this is going to be a yes or no option. Is current student. There's only two options in this. You can select yes or no, or true or false, whatever you want to say, right? Is current student, yes. All right, now let's have a look. So if we just refresh here and go to school students, we'll go new school students. What we see here, right, is first of all, we can enter anything here, right? So this is a free text, so we'll just go here. We'll just go here, Paul, middle name, Bill, Keating. So these are free text. Any value can go here. If you type in ABC, if you type in 1, 2, 3, any values can go here, right? But in here, date of birth, you see here, if I type in ABC here, watch, and I try to save it, it won't allow, let me just put that there. It won't allow me to save it, right? Because it's saying date of birth is expecting a date value. It can't take any other value. So that's the behind why we have data types behind fields. So when you create a field, you need to make sure it's what data type is. Is it a free text, like a single line of text? Is it a date of birth? Or is it a number? For example, here, right? So here we even select the date here, right? And let's just say grade year, right? Remember, this was an integer. This was a number column. So if I type in here, like that, it says invalid number, right? It's not allowing me. And that's why I made grade year a number column. Only numbers can go in it, right? So we go, okay, grade is in grade 2. All right, now teacher, have a look at this. Now you can see here 3, 4, and 5, right? So it's getting the record of the teacher, but it's showing the ID, right? And this is wrong. It should be showing its name, right? So how do we fix this, right? Right. So when I'll just go back here and show it to you. If we go back to our list setting here and we go to our teacher, we want to, instead of showing the column, we want to show the title, because we want to show the title field of that teacher, right? Go, okay. We go school students. We go here, new. Teacher, we'll go back here, we'll go Paul, uni, date of birth, that, grade 2, teacher. Now we see the title. This is the title field of that school teacher. Get it? So it's a lookup field against another list, right? So, okay, Mr. Imran Khan, yes, he is a current student, save, done, right? So now it's created a school student, right? Now what we want to do, let's just say this SharePoint was created for a school, a real school, right? And the principal, so let's just say the principal is myself, and I want to get notified when a new student is created, right? So if you look here, if I go back to the email, right? But in my email here, right? When a new student is created, I want to get an email here that a new student is created, right? So how would I do that, right? So let me just go here. That's where flows come in, right? Flows come in really handy when it comes to emails, right? So we'll go here, right? We'll go Power Automate, create a flow. All right, now we can select one of these templates. So send a customization email when a new SharePoint list item is added. So we're going, yep, new, right? All right, we'll create a flow. So this is it. This is already template created for us. So if you go here and edit it, it's already created. It's created all of this stuff. Now these are some of the Active Directory the email, Exchange Server email values you get, and then it sends this email, right? And you say when a new item is created, ID department, school students. So it's done all this for us. So this is why we have templates. They have some templates that does things for us, right? So we'll just rename this. We'll go, okay. So we go here. So we go here, IT department, new school student, send email, right? So this has already done a lot of things for us. So you can see the email template. This is going to be me, the one who created it. Subject, new item added, and then hi, and then your new. These are some conditions. I don't know if you guys have used Microsoft Excel, but if you use Excel, you got these type of things here, FX things, right? So we want created, date, we want the author, and we want the name and something here, right? So let's just run this, right? We'll click on save. So we'll go here when a new. We'll just update the text here. It's good to update this. This part here is only for reading purposes. This doesn't do anything. This is just to reading purposes. All right, we'll do this and we'll save it. Done. We'll go back. Now have a look here. So this workflow is created. Now what we do in IT department, we'll create a new student. We'll call this student here. Donald, J. Trump, right? And we'll create this student. Well, this year he's in year 5. Teacher, we'll go here, Jane Brown, and his current student, save, right? So now this record's created. Now what's going to happen, if you look at this on email, I'll be getting notified soon that, let me just put this in here. That gets there. Okay, right. You'll see here soon, like have a look at the workflow. I'll just close this one. Have a look at this workflow. This workflow start kicking in about 1 minute, right? And you'll see here that I'll be getting notified that an email that a new that you know that I'll be getting an email notification when about this new person, right? Donald J. Trump, right? He's a new student, right? So just refresh. Takes a bit of time to kick in. Just gotta wait for this. So as soon as the workflow kicks in, I'll get an email. There. Have a look there. I'll get an email anytime soon now. There you go. New item added. See the workflow. Send me this email. Right. So that's the advantage of workflows. You can, on a trigger, you know, when a record is created or updated, send an email. Right. So, and you can even look here. If we go here, we can see here that if we go to the we look at the flow, we can see here, okay, when a school student is created, get the profile details, right? Gets my profile and then sends an email. Hi, Mataza, a new item was created. Now, what's wrong with this email? This subject, we don't know who the person is. It just says new item created. It doesn't mention anything about the student's details. So we need to modify this email, right? So what we do here, let's modify this email. Let's go and edit this email. All right, we'll go here. Let me just maximize this again. Right, go here. Now we'll do this. So now we go here. Now we have the fields that we created, right? So now we have, for example, so we have here, so we type here, new student called, and we go here, so we go here, first name, spacebar, last name, spacebar, and, oh, sorry, first name, middle name, spacebar, last name, spacebar. So a new student called first name, last name, middle name, last name from for year new student new student a new student called for this, for year, for grade, and then we put in the grade value, grade year, new student called this is that for grade this. So I should say here, let me just rename this. We'll go, we have a new student for this, for grade this, whose teacher is, and we get the teacher name, teacher value, all right? So we get the teacher value, right? And then that's it. So we're going to copy this, and we'll go, hi, give a name, we'll do this here, and we'll paste it there. Now let's save this and run it again, right? All right, save. Right now, look at the history. All right, well, let's create a new student. I'll create a new student. I'm running out of names here, so we'll call this here Bob, Bill, car. Okay, grade number 4. Teacher is Mr. Imran Khan. Save. Right, so let's put this there. Let's have a look here. Right, so we should see a new email coming in now. Let's refresh this. Keep on refreshing. There we go. Now we should get email. There we go. That looks better. We have a new student called Bob Bill Carr for grade 4, whose teacher, sorry, this is misspelling, but anyway, whose teacher is Imran Khan. So hi Murtaza, we have a new student for this. And you get what I'm saying? So that's what you can do with Power Automate, send automatic emails without one line of code, right? So that's the beauty of it. So that's one aspect of it, right? So that's what I want to show you, right? And we can do more with this, right? I'll show you one last part before we wrap up, right? Let's have another list here called hold on, create a new list. We'll call this here school profit, right? School profit. This is the profit it makes, right? So let's just say here, okay. Let's just say here, okay, what profit it makes. So we go here. So we go school income. Oh, actually, I called it school income annually. Actually, let me just rename that. I'll probably rename the list. Call it school income annually. Let me just delete this list. Okay. So I'll call this here new list, school income annually, right? We'll create that, right? And now we have, now if we create one record, which is C, we just have the title. So we need to create some fields, right? I'll look here, what's the field? So first we have, first we want to know, we want to know what's the income type, right? We want to know the income type, the sales amount, the school year, right? So we'll go here, we'll go, all right, so we'll go here. So we'll create a new field, we'll go here. Actually, what we'll do before that, we'll create we'll create another lookup field, we'll call it here. Income type, right? We'll create this, all right, and we'll add the values. Let me just have a look at these ones. These values, new school student, one is new school student. We won't add any columns here, we'll just leave it as title, new school student. Right, that's one. Excursion, that's two. And school camps, new school camp. So this is the three way this school makes profit, right? And that's the income type. Then we have the year, right? So we go new, we'll create another one here called new list, and we'll call this year, I'll call it here. I'll call it here school years or school years, right? And we'll just start off with a value here. We'll go here, 2021, new, 2022, so and so on and so on. Every new year, you probably create another record, right? So 2023. All right, so we have that, right? And now we go into school income annually. Now what we'll do is we'll go here. What's the field we had? We had income type, sales amount, and school year. So we go here, we'll go add column. We have to make this a lookup column. We'll call it income type. And we'll make this a lookup. And we'll go here. Income type, right? And specify the title. And go OK. Right, so if we go here now, if we go new, we can select the income type, excursion, new student, school camps. All right. and we'll select another one, which will be the sales amount. Sales amount, yep, sales amount. So we'll go here, we'll make this a currency. I didn't make it a number, I made it a currency because we're dealing with money now. Sales amount, right? Click on save, right? And then the last thing is the school year. So school year will also be a lookup, right? More fields, make it a lookup. Let's call it year, right? I'll specify school years, and we'll specify the title. So now we have this here, right? So now we go, all right. So the first record will go here, right? What's the first record? New school student 2021. So we'll go here, new, make it a new. Actually, what we'll do here, one thing here is sales amount. Let me just modify this column. Just modify the column. Listens. Right. Can I ask everyone to be on mute? Okay, so let me just go sales amount. We will select the default value here in the sales amount, and we'll call this here, the default value is 0. Right, so when a new record is created, the default value will be 0 now. Right, so we go here, so we're school income annually. Now what we'll do is we'll go here, new. All right, so we'll go here, we'll call this here, new school students 2021, new school students 2021. Income type is a new school student. Sales amount by default we selected 0. Year 2021. Save. Right, done. Right, and now we'll have a new school. What is this? A new excursion 2021. So we'll go excursion 2021. Income type. This is an excursion. Sales amount year 2021. Right, we'll go save. And the last thing was, I think, school camp 2021. School camp 2021. Yeah. School camp. $2021. Income type, school camp, sales amount, and we'll go here. All right, so we have these 3 records, right? Now what we want to do, by default, let's just say school camp. What did I do here? By default, let's just say school camp had $10,000 profit and excursion had $30,000 profit, right? So we'll just go here. School camp made a $10,000 profit. We'll just update that, 10,000. Right, again, if we put ABC here, it won't work, right? Because it's expecting a number. The school camp made $10,000 profit. Excursion made, right, $30,000 profit. Right, and now new school student, right? So now what we want to do is we want to update this school student, right? So what we'll do, we'll have a look at so we have income annually, right? So we'll create another list called here new. We'll create another list here called new list. We'll call this here income history, right? Or we can call it school income history. School income history, right? In here in the school income history, we'll just write here. We'll just keep this short. We'll just keep it title, and we'll add a currency column here called the income student income, right? Or income from student, right? So it's currency, we'll go there, right? So we got a school income history, and now we have school income annually. So what we want to do now is, if we create a new student, right, we want to update this school student 2021 at $3,000. So if a new student is created, we update that to 20, we update that sales amount to $3,000, and then another student's credit, we update that to $6,000, right? And then so on, $9,000, right? And then what we want to do is when at school when a student's created, we add his details here, that who's created and what was his, how much income we got from that student, right? So as a new student, right? So what we'll do here, we'll go back to school students, right? Now we'll create another workflow, right? So we'll integrate, Power Automate, create flow. So we'll go here. We'll select our flow. So what we'll go here is we already had one flow where new students send email. So we don't want to touch this workflow because this is already sending email, right? The workflow should have a purpose. What's its goal, right? This purpose is to send an email. If I update this, workflow and say, well, send an email and do other things, it defeats the purpose. So better leave it as this. Even though it's creating new student, we'll have another one, another IT department new student, and we'll say here, update annual amount. So what we'll do here, go here. Okay. IT department, new school student, update annual, or just update income details, right? Update school income details. Right, trigger when SharePoint, right, when an item is created, all right. We see here, right, we'll select the site here, IT department, we'll go here. Now we have all these lists. See, these are the lists we created. So what we want to trigger on, school students, right? So when a school student's created, now what we want to do is we want to update the annual income, and we want to add, what we want to update the school annual income plus 3,000, and we want to add a record here in the school income history that this person has been, this is the income we got, right? So what we do here in this flow, what we'll do, let me just close this other flow. In this flow, we'll go, okay, so what we do, first thing we do is we go here, new step, so we'll type in SharePoint, right? And we'll go here. First thing we want to do is actually one thing, first of all, I'll just rename this. When a school student is created, right? New step. First thing we want to do now, we want to in here in the school and income, we have 3 records here. New school student 21, we have school excursion 21 to 21, and we have school camp 2021, and they're this part of the title column, right? So we want to update this record. We don't want to right? So how do we get this record in the flow? How we do this? We go here in the flow. What we do? We go here. We go here. Get list. Right? Get not list. Get items. Get items here. So now what we're going to do? We're going to go here. We're going to go here. We want to get the item of IT department. We want to get the item of the income annual, school income annually, right? School income annually, right? And where, so we go here, we in the filter, we go, okay. Now this is a slight bit of coding here. It's not any big coding, it's just a small coding. We go here, okay, title equal here to this value, right? So we go, get this here, that value there. So title equals here this value. And we just want to retrieve one record because it should only retrieve one record. And now we're getting school annual income annual items. What you call new school student, right? Right now we're getting here, we're able to get the new school student record, right? Now we have this record. Now what we can do is we can update it. Now what we go is we're here, we go here, we go SharePoint, again, SharePoint, we go here, update. Update item, right? So which one we update? We want to update IT department. We want to update the school annual income history, and the ID is going to be this ID, this value, right? So we go here, we'll just type it here, we go school student item, school student it's created. No, not created, school student annually item, ID. Now just have a look here, it'll change the code here a bit, it'll apply for each, just ignore that. Just ignore that. What it's doing is because it's getting multiple records, and then it's saying, okay, here we've only specified to get one record, right? But but this can get multiple records. So that's what it's doing. It's going each of the multiple records and update the item, right? So sorry. Update. Okay. Now the title is the the title is the same title of the school, right? Which is this title here, this title there, right? And the income type, okay, everything else we don't care. This one is what we care, right? Sales amount, we want to update the sales amount. So what we want to do in the sales amount, so the sales amount currently is $0. So what we want to do is say, get the current sales amount and add 3,000 on top of that, right? Because new school student, we enroll, we're getting $3,000 annually from him, right? So what we do, we go in here, we go, okay, sales amount, we go here, all right. So what we do here, we have an expression here, right? We go here, all right, we go here, we type in here, we go here, add, right? And we'll specify the column. The column we'll specify is actually, just let me do one thing, sorry. The sales amount. So what we do, we're going to copy a bit of this code here. There. Let's paste this in a notepad. Right. So sorry about the code, just a bit of code, so don't get too scared. Right. Sales amount. Right, and we'll update, instead of updating this, we'll update the sales amount. So we'll go here. Sales amounts, right? I'll just copy this here. All right, so what we do here is what we do. So now the current sales amount is $0, and we want to update that, right? So we go here. Now we go here, we go here, we go expression, we go add, sales amount, and the next, that's the first parameter. The second parameter, we add $3,000. We go, okay. So now what it's doing is updating the sales amount, right? And that's about it, right? And now we, and the other thing is we'll add another action. We'll add we'll go SharePoint, right? SharePoint, we'll go here, create. I want to create an item, right? Yeah, we want to create an item called here, what you call it, department. Create, want to add school income history. We want to add the title. It will be the value of the student, his name, right? So we just call it title for now. We could have added another field name, but we just have first title for now. So we go here, first name. So when student item is created, so this record here, we get his first name, and we'll go here, middle name, right? And we'll get here his last name, all right? And then what we do here, and the income from the student is, we can just, I think we can just specify hard code this and just write 3,000, I think here. And that will be, I'll just put it as a number here, hold on. 3,000. Right. and we'll save it and go from there. All right, so update item, sales history. And okay, go there. All right, save. All right, so when a school student is created, get the annual income of the new student value, right, which is the 2021, right, and then update the school item, right, add the $3,000, right, and then create another record. He creates school income history at $3,000, right? So we go here, save it. We'll go back, right? Now let's have a look at this, right? Let's create a new school student, right? So we'll go new school student. All right, so now remember in the flow, we have two flows. If I just go back to my flows, we have two flows. One is when a new item is created, new school student is created, one sends an email and one updates the school amount, right? So if you look here, let me just go back for a sec. All right, so we'll go here. So let me just duplicate this, and we'll go here. So we have one for update school amount, and we have one here for send email, right? So you'll see here that when we create a new school student, you'll create another workflow here, which this one sends the email, and this one will update the school items, right? So you can have multiple triggers, new triggers, like workflows on one list, right? So we go here, now we'll go here. So now we'll go, all right, new, then remember income history is blank, school annual income is 0, right? So we expect this to be updated to 3,000 and this to be, and a record to be created here, right? So what we do here, so that we go here, we'll keep an eye, I'll just duplicate this as well. Okay, so we go here. Where'd it go? Where was the school income history? Why can't I see here? Income history. Oh. All right, school income history, and we have the we want to update this, and we want to add a C record here, right? Let's create a new school student. We'll go here, new school student. We'll go here. Okay, so we'll call this here. Running out of names. All right, so we go here. Nawaz. All right. First name Nawaz. Sharif, right? Sharif, right? And we go here, okay. All right, so grade year. So we'll make this guy year 1. And his teacher is Scott Morrison, and we'll go here, okay, save. Now, Nawaz is created. Now, if you look here in the school income, if we refresh this, you'll see the flow slowly here. This is the update school items, and this is the email. So we should see another record here, the third one here, and we should see one here. So we should see one here and another one here, which should be the third flow here. So we'll just keep on refreshing. Obviously, the users won't see this, right? They won't see this. This is only the developers. They see all this stuff. The users, they won't see all this flow and all this stuff. They don't know what's happening in the background. So don't get scared. The users won't, a normal user probably won't even have permission to see all these flows and all these history, right? They'll just be looking here, go, okay, now it's updated. Now that's all they care. They don't care about anything else, right? How this is updated, it's none of their business, right? How we create a record here, it's none of their business, right? They just want to see a record here, that a new income from student is there. That's all they want, right? So here, as a developer, or as a, this is what you'll see as a developer. When you go develop, this is what you'll see, right? Here. I'm just waiting. Here we go. So this one's sending the email. So we go back here. So we should see the email here. So now we see the email here. Right. New student created. Nawaz Hussein Sharif. Right. Grade 1 teacher Scott Morrison. Right. So that's it done there. So if we refresh this, that's done, right? We already know the email works, and we'll go have a look at this one. And now this has worked as well. So we see here, now if we go here, school income, we'll see 3,000. See? That is updated 3,000. And if we look here, the school income, now we have, this is a student here, Nawaz Hussein Sharif, he's given us $3,000. Right? So that is that there. The last thing I'll show you is, I'll just show you the last thing is, let's just say in the school student, we have, when it's not current student, then take out $3,000 from the annual income. And probably, yeah, so let's just do that, right? So when it's current student is false, is unchecked, then minus 3,000 from here. So how do you do that, right? So what you do here, we go new. Sorry, we're creating new. This is the last flow I'm creating. Right, so I'll just close all of this. So new Power Automate create flow, and this will be based on an update, not a new item, right? Because when a new record is already created, when we update the record, is current student, then it should trigger, right? So we go here, so a new automated flow, SharePoint, and we go, when item is modified, no? When item or a file is modified, when item is modified, yep, when item modified, so we go here, IT department, so update school student, so we go here, minus annual I'll just say minus school student income. Right, so we have this, right? So we go create. So now we're saying, okay, this is an update now, right? So we go here, we update. When an IT department is updated, right? Which list we want to go school students, right? Right, and we'll just go here, rename this one. When school student is modified, now what we want to do is, we want to add a condition here. Condition, right? And we're going to say here in the condition, we go here, is current student, if it's equal to false, right? That means no, right? If it's false, if it's not, if current student is basically not, if this person is not a current student, then what we do is we will grab that record. So we'll go here, SharePoint, SharePoint. We'll go here, get items, we'll get the item here, ID department, get income annually, right? And we want to go here, title equal to this value here. Right, equal student, total equal to this. All right. Yeah. Items. New student. When school student created, we get the when the current item is false, and we get the title. And we're going to do here. We'll go here. We'll go here now. We'll go update. Sorry. SharePoint. We'll go here. Update item, and select here. Item. Here. School income annually, and the ID, you want to get this ID, so get school ID. Now I've got this ID. Let's put in the for each, right? Now, so title, we'll just put that title here. Title. Okay. And now the income. All right. So remember we did the add before. So what we do here, let's just copy this code. I think we already have this code. Yeah. So we have this code, right? We copied from the past. All right. So we go here, add that amount. And now we minus $3,000. All right. We go, okay. Done. Sorry, no, that wasn't. Sorry, my fault. This value goes here. So it goes here. And this is the title. Okay. So here we've got the value, sales amount, and we minus $3,000. Right. We do that here. Right now, what will happen, and what we do is we create a new record here. So we go here, SharePoint. Got a new record. We'll go new create item. Create item. We'll go here. IT department. We'll go here. Income history, and we'll update the title. We'll go here. First name plus middle name plus last name. Last name, right? And income from student, we'll just here, we'll go here, minus 3,000. All right, so we're gonna update school income history. Yeah, all right, cool, done. All right. So when school student modified, we can say here, we can even write in the condition here, we'll just rename this, we'll go, if current student, oh, sorry, if is not, if it's not current student, then do this, right? We save, we did that, now we go back here. Now, all right, we'll refresh. All right, so now what we'll do here, he will we'll update here, Nawaz Sharif. Now let's say Nawaz Sharif is not a current student anymore, right? So what we'll do here in the school income annually, we'll see here that we'll see we'll see this go back to 0. Actually, we'll see this go back to 0, right? And in income history, which I'll create a new tab, income history, we'll see another record here saying Nawaz Sharif minus 3,000, right? So we go here, we're gonna edit. Okay, so now we go here, we uncheck this, is current student, right? Now we're modifying it. We are not creating it, we are modifying it. So now we've modified, save. So now it's modified. Now this flow should kick off. All right, refresh. So you can see here, if you look at the other flows, let me just Let me just duplicate this. So if you go to the other flows, like new student, update, send email, you see here, this is not getting updated. Only this will get updated. A record won't, a flow won't get created here. You'll only get it created here, because this is an update, not a new record, right? So this, therefore, it won't create another flow here. I'll show it to you, right? So we'll see here. That's why the naming, when you write your flow name, make sure you have a proper name. Update, create, so you know what the flow is doing. Just by reading the name, you know what the flow is doing, right? So it's important when you work in a company to give your flow a proper name. Anyway, just refresh here. Done, right? We'll see here. School income here, refresh, is back to 0, right? And here in here, Sharif, minus 3,000, right? And what you call that? And if you look at the flow here, you can even go here and look at what it's doing. So basically, in the flow, what it did when school's modified. All right. So if it's not current, so it's true. Yes, it's not a current student. It came here. If it was false, it would go in the no. But it was true. It came in the yes. And we'll go yes, new school student, right? And then we'll go here and we'll grab that school student value, and then we go here and then we just updated the value here. We see the outputs. We go here. Okay, the output here is minus $3,000, right? Right, and that's it there. Right, any questions? Any questions? I'll actually stop the recording now.